Today's Reef Care feature, our own bulk reef supply GFO. I've got the answers to the 3 most frequently asked GFO-related questions: why GFO is the most commonly used filter media in the industry, how to use it, and what type is best for you. Starting with the why, simply put, GFO is the right tool for elevated phosphate issues and is used most commonly as a fix for unexpected or unexplained phosphate spikes, or in some cases as a component of a tank's overall filtration approach. We all fight phosphates at some point, all of us, including myself. So keep this tool on hand and ready, because you're gonna need it. Phosphates can come from a multitude of sources, but 99% of phosphate is added from fish and coral foods. And at the most basic level, what goes in must ultimately come out. And it can also build up with a lack of routine maintenance schedules and also potential water sources. So make sure to use RODI water and change your filters regularly. Besides the growth of unsightly algae, too much phosphate will absolutely slow down your coral growth, and here's why. Phosphates are a poison, not in a scary, kill everything kind of way, but elevated phosphates poisons the surface of your corals and makes it much more difficult to lay down the calcium and carbonate ions they need to grow. So if you notice that your corals are not growing as they once were, make sure to check your phosphate levels before you start making other adjustments, like changing up your feeding regimen or lighting schedules, as elevated phosphates may be the underlying issue and can be solved with a couple dollars of GFO. Most reefers use GFO for 2 main applications. Number 1, treatment for phosphate spikes caused by way overfeeding, dead organisms like fish, corals, snails left in your tank, or your current filtration system just can't keep up. In which case, use GFO to bring phosphate levels down before an algae outbreak happens, preventing months of hard work fighting that battle of hair algae and surface haze algae. Number 2, prevention. And in some cases, reefers just can't keep phosphates under control even after adjusting feeding schedules, filtration methods, and maintenance routines. So using a small amount of GFO can keep you on track and fight against a phosphate spike. The key to successful reef keeping is balance and stability. Stay away from the roller coasters of constant up and downs, the high phosphate levels, then the low levels, and then back up again. It's a vicious cycle. I definitely agree with Ryan, and I'm gonna quote him here, that an ounce of prevention is worth about 300 pounds of cure. And once phosphate spikes and an algae outbreak gets out of control, it's so much harder and generally much more expensive to get back under control. So it's best practice to be proactive and stay on top of your levels right away. It's worth the time to avoid all the headaches. How to use GFO is very simple. The BRS mini reactor will cover about 90% of you who need it. Just make sure you adjust the flow for the light tumble like you see here. We recommend not using GFO 24/7. Instead, use it as a periodic tool to keep phosphates at acceptable and stable levels. And each reef is different, and there isn't a universal guide on how often GFO needs to be changed. It could be bi-weekly, monthly, or even longer. Just like I said earlier, test your phosphate levels and follow your trends. So you have raising levels, change your GFO. Stable levels, don't change it. The key again, keep levels stable. So what GFO is right for you? There are 2 types. The standard and high capacity, which is probably best for those of you who need to run GFO all of the time regardless, as phosphates seem to always be high. With high capacity, you can use it twice as long with half the amount, and it ultimately saves you money overall. And you can find both right over here.